Hey guys, how's it going? This is BillyEatWorld, and today we're going to take a look at the A-91 carbine. The A-91 is a unique looking Russian bullpup carbine which isn't really that popular in game, despite the fact that it's actually not that bad. It's probably most similar to the MTAR, which is also a bullpup, fires slightly faster, and on the surface has a few more favourable stats. In game though, interestingly enough, the A-91 measures up to the MTAR better than you might think, and although the MTAR is probably more popular, I'd have to say I prefer the A-91. Both weapons are clearly designed for a close range role, and just about the only other carbine that comes close is the conventional design ACWR. The ACWR is another very popular and effective carbine, but if you're the kind of player who likes to run and gun and use hip fire, then you may just prefer the A-91 over this gun as well. But anyway, let's take a look at its stats and see how this weapon works. The A-91 has the standard carbine damage model, dealing 25 damage out to 8 meters, which drops off to its minimum damage of 15.4 at 50 meters. It fires at a reasonably fast 800 RPM, which should keep up with most weapons in close quarters, but it will be at a disadvantage to guns like the AEK, the CZ3A1 and the FAMAS. It's also got a pretty crazy recoil pattern with a 0.35 vertical kick and a 0.5 pull to both the left and the right. This means that if you don't fire in bursts, it's going to jump all over the place. The MTAR actually has slightly less horizontal recoil than this, but the A-91 has a better first shot recoil multiplier of 2 compared to the MTAR's 2.8. This, coupled with the fact that the A-91 fires 100 RPM slower than the MTAR, I think makes it considerably easier to control, and where the MTAR struggles at taking down mid-range targets, I find that the A-91 does much better at this range. You can actually microburst the A-91 quite quickly, even without an angled grip, and while taking out long-range targets is still going to be difficult, it reaches out surprisingly far. Now, because the A-91 is both a carbine and a bullpup, the main thing that lets it down at range is its standing ADS spread of 0.375. Fortunately, as a trade-off, being a bullpup carbine also means that compared to a conventional design weapon, it has a better moving ADS spread of 0.675 and a better hipfire spread of 1.5. For a close quarters weapon, this is ideal because it gives you a slight edge over conventional longer barreled weapons. This can really make up for the fact that it doesn't fire as fast as some weapons in game, and you'll find that you'll stand a good chance dueling just about any opponent. Unfortunately, the A-91 does have its faults also, with a muzzle velocity of only 420 meters per second and a pretty slow reload time. It takes 2.7 seconds to reload with a bullet still in the chamber and 3.3 seconds to reload from empty. This is slightly slower than the MTAR, but it's noticeably quicker than the bullpup ARs, and if you're someone who likes to play with bullpup weapons a lot, you're probably used to sluggish reloads by now. So the question is the A-91 worth using, and is it better than the MTAR or the ACWR? Well, that's a tricky one because it really depends on how you like to play. If you like to run and gun, then the A-91 or the MTAR are probably better choices, but if you normally stop and pop and you like a quick reload, then maybe the ACWR is a better option. But then, if you like all-round weapons, then maybe none of these weapons are good for you. This is probably the ballpark that I find myself in, and I guess the reason that I prefer the A-91 is because it does what a carbine is designed to do well, and it also stands a chance at mid-range. So, assuming that you come to the same conclusion as me, what attachments would I recommend for this gun? Well, I found probably the best setup for this gun was the Cobra sight, suppressor, laser sight, and ergo grip. What this setup does is improves your accuracy in close quarters and on the move. The Cobra sight gives you a great field of view, and the suppressor keeps you off the minimap. Most people, I think, would naturally edge towards the compensator for this gun, considering its relatively crazy horizontal recoil. But in close quarters, or when tap firing, this probably won't matter as much, and the compensator will be just doing more harm than good. I'd also suggest to stay away from any higher powered optics or the heavy barrel, because this gun isn't designed to be a long range shooter. Just stick to what it's best at, and it should serve you well enough. But anyway, if you haven't already tried out the A-91, then give it a go, because if you're a fan of the MTAR, then you might just like this gun too. And for anyone who has tried the A-91, let me know what you think of it in the comment section below, and let me know if you prefer it over the MTAR. But as always, if you like what you see, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you haven't already, please check out all my other Battlefield 4 videos. I've got them all linked in a playlist in the description below. And until next time, guys, see you later, and have a good one.